Hello, I'm Adomako Aman. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Austin is really fun. I had a good time. You know, I was really excited to be able to reunite with some of my friends, my new friends that I made in Los Angeles through Outfest LA. One thing that I did when I was there is that I got the chance to screen my film at AGLIF, which was super exciting. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Hotel, which was like really reasonably priced due to the fact that AGLIF gave me like a discount. People were still afraid to go out, so like I didn't have like a big audience when I screened there. There was a lot of people who worked at AGLIF who were super amazing, and they were, you know, like I hold them dear to my heart, and they were super kind and all those other things. And there was just this one person that I will not name who worked at AGLIF who just kind of gave me the weirdest vibes, and just ever since then I just kind of like, I can't be around you. Or just ever since then it just kind of like gave me like a questionable look, you know? I am interested in turning Peace, the short film, into a feature film project. And so that's kind of what I've been exploring and getting, you know, speaking to people in terms of like getting the funding and, you know, getting like the right talent to get involved in this project. And so I just remember like that was an announcement that I made when I was at the festival. And, you know, I feel like it's just common knowledge as a filmmaker to understand that it is such a process to get a film made, you know? Like, people are not gonna give you handouts just off the bat. Like, it's such a process. And I just remember confiding in someone who works at AGLIF, and I was just like, oh, I think I might like make this into a feature. And they were just like, that's really hard to do. And I'm just kind of like, I didn't really say anything because I'm not like a confrontational person. But in my mind, I'm just kind of like, duh, bitch, it is hard to make a film. Like, I feel like we all know that. And so when we're here celebrating together, this is because we celebrated the hard work. We celebrated that moment. For people to see the work is super exciting. For you to like tell me that like it's hard to make a feature film, it's like, I'm not new to this. Like, I've been doing this for over a decade now, and for you to have to share that information with me was very cynical. I understand that at the time that this person was going through their own, you know, life changes and things like that, but I just kind of felt like it wasn't really cool. But as an artist, that's what usually happens. Like, people will discourage you to continue on, but you have to have the faith, and you have to be the one to understand that you have the power to do whatever you want to do. And so I'm still on the path of wanting to make Peace into a feature film, and you know, I'm exploring that realm and seeing where we go. The story is so impactful, and I just can only imagine if it was a feature-length project what it can do to the world. I got to go to Barton Springs. I swam in a spring, which was like super wild. Like, I was swimming with like seaweed, and I was just like, I thought the seaweed was like a monster in the spring, and I just was kind of like, oh my god, like I can't do this. Also too, like the spring like has such a strong tide, and so that was the first time like where I was swimming and I was like, oh my god, how am I doing this? Like, it is so strong. It's truly a workout. Like, when you leave the spring, you feel like you've gotten a workout, and you feel the difference between swimming in a spring versus swimming in a pool. Another thing that I did is that we got to eat at Barton Springs. They had Asian food, they had Arabic food. It was called Habibi ATX, which I thought was really cute. I had a little bit of everything, and I really enjoyed being around, you know, that part. I also had Mexican in Texas because, like, why not have Mexican in Texas? And so I went to this place called Chewy's, which was really good. And it was, I just remember feeling like, wow, like I think that was like the moment where I had like hot sauce that was like incredibly hot. I went to like a lot of BBQ places around there. Austin, Texas is just such a place for BBQ. and getting brisket and fries and all these other things. I had a really good time when I was in Austin. I just feel that Austin is a one and done type of situation. Like I could check that off my list and say like, oh, like I went to Austin, that was really cute, and move on. Austin, Texas, I think is, you know, it was not my first time being in Texas. You know, I grew up in Texas for a small part of my life. I lived in Grand Prairie, I lived in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I lived in Arlington, Texas. It's known for being a conservative state, but there are liberals that lurk throughout the state. In Texas, you know, it was not like my vibe growing up for that moment, just because I felt like Texas was very strict. And I just remember going to school and like it being really strict and things like this, and getting into trouble and getting suspended. You know, growing up for me, I would always get into trouble because I was very, you know, vibrant of a personality, and, you know, I embodied my femininity and all those other things. And for some people that was a lot, you know, and I you know, I've always been who I am. Like I've always been this confident person in my skin, and I feel that, like I said before, and I say it again, we all have our off days, and it's just important to recognize that that's an off day. Like, oh, my hair doesn't look good, like my skin doesn't look good, or whatever. But for me, like I've always, you know, I don't know, I always feel like I was a vibe. I felt like I was always a moment. I feel like Austin, Texas is a one and done type of situation for me. Like I felt that it was, I don't know, for me, like I am a black person. I am literally African American. I own my ancestors on my sleeve. I take pride in, you know, where I come from and, you know, the diverse background that I have. And so I enjoy being around a diverse group of people. I feel that I thrive in those type of environments. I love for us to exchange cultures. I feel like it's like playing cards and, you know, or whatever. It's just like, let's learn from one another. You know, let's be a part of this journey together. And I just felt like when I was there, it wasn't a diverse, I don't know, there's that moment where like when you're black, you just feel like, okay, when you see the other black person, it's like, okay, we're in this together. Like amongst all these like white people, like we're in this together, like we see each other. And so I just felt like Austin wasn't so diverse as people would say it is. Like I wouldn't say at all that I felt that I experienced any type of racism through what I can recall. I can't say that, and I'm just saying like I like being around, you know, multicultural environments. Like I thrive in that. Like I love that vibe. For me, it's just kind of like, okay, like this is cute, like, you know, meeting these white people, they're cute. I just wish, I feel like the only thing that would make it more exciting for me is having the chance to have more diversity there. But I don't know, I feel like Austin's kind of like a countryside version of maybe Williamsburg, and that's not my vibe either. So, but yeah, it was great. Woohoo, Austin.